I want to show you how we use YouTube ads to grow retail sales for RTIC by up to 25% in some regions of the country. In fact, in some cities, we grew retail sales by 44% or more. Now, if you're like a lot of the 8 and 9-figure brands that I know, you're likely growing successfully D2C, marketplace, and maybe you're just getting in to retail, or you're in retail stores, but you'd like to accelerate your growth. And so this case study is for you. I'm going to show you exactly how we built these campaigns, what our strategy was, what the tactics were that were important, and I'll break this down. Now, the good news is, even if you're just staying D2C and marketplace, a lot of these strategies and tactics will apply to you as well. Let's dive in. Hey, what's up? I'm Brett Curry. I'm the CEO of OMG Commerce. For the last 15 years, we worked with some of your favorite brands, creating profitable scale, omni-channel growth. And we work with brands like Native and Boom Beauty and RTIC, of course, and Crumble Cookie and many, many others. But let's break down this RTIC case study and show you exactly how we did this. Now, if you're not familiar with the RTIC product line, it's what it looks like. I think some of the best coolers on the market, my absolute favorite drinkware. And so we approached it like this. We said, okay, let's look across the country and see, where do you have a high concentration of stores? Where do you have strong inventory levels, right? We don't want to take all the time and effort and expense to drive someone to a store where you don't have product. And then finally, where is there strong, at least category demand, meaning people actively shopping for coolers? Let's start there and let's see if we can drive sales for RTIC. Now, with anything YouTube, so much of this hinges on the creative. And so we wanted to craft the right creative strategy for RTIC. So what did that mean? Well, it meant that we were clearly encouraging in-store shopping. We wanted to test multiple hooks because with YouTube, as with really any video ad, the hook is the most important part. We wanted to test multiple creators, multiple influencers, and multiple video ad styles, some that felt like TV ads, some that felt a little more authentic with creator style videos. Then we also wanted to test multiple lengths of videos and multiple edits and formats to maximize our reach, because what a lot of people don't realize about YouTube is you can run, of course, 30s and 15s, but also 60s and 2-minute videos and 3-minute videos and 5-minute videos. And sometimes the longer videos are still affordable and they get the best results. Because of the way we approach this with multiple formats and the way we structured our bidding, we were able to get really low CPMs. In fact, in some parts of the country, it was like $3.58 CPMs, right? Compare that to $30 minimum on other streaming options, or even higher with a lot of online ads. And so we were able to get really low CPMs. So creative strategy is really important, but creative really only can be effective if you've got the right campaign strategy driving it. And so a few of the priorities was, as we crafted the campaign strategy, is, hey, we wanted to be able to get good, clean data to create a creative feedback loop. So we partnered directly with the creative team at RTIC, and we said, hey, we're going to structure these campaigns where we can clearly see creative performance and get that data back to you. We also believe that we could get a lot of success by leaning into connected TVs or smart TVs. A lot of people don't know this, but YouTube is the #1 streaming platform. More people watch YouTube on their smart TV than Netflix or any other streaming platform. And so we felt like we could be really successful by leaning into connected TVs for RTIC, but we wanted to test multiple formats, multiple angles, and in multiple ways. We also wanted to target new shoppers. So RTIC has been successful, but we wanted to reach net new shoppers because we wanted these sales to be incremental. We wanted to create incremental sales lift in Walmart. So while you got to have the right creative and the right campaign strategy, you also have to have the right measurement strategy, right? How will we know how effective this is and if we actually won? And so what we did is we structured an 8-week test. The primary metric was retail sales lift, but we also wanted to look at search lift, brand lift, and sales across all channels. But we structured this in true incrementality format, right? We created test and control markets. So test markets, those are the markets we ran YouTube in. Control markets were markets that were similar. They were in similar parts of the country, similar size, similar demand, things like that, but that we didn't run YouTube in. And then we compared the sales between the test and control markets. We also lean into a tool that Google provides called a CDI BDI analysis. Basically, this is like category demand and brand demand. Now, if you've not run this for your business, you're missing some really critical data. In fact, DM me and I can show you how you can get this data. But basically what this does is this looks at Google search behavior. So this is search behavioral data, not survey data. And it looks at where in the country is there strong category demand and weak category demand. Where is there strong brand demand? So people searching for your brand, or in this case, searching for RTIC. Where is that strong and where is that weak? And then it kind of breaks it up into these quadrants. So the yellow is high category, low brand demand. The green is high category and high brand demand. And then red is low and low, and blue is low CDI but high BDI. And so this was actually broken down by TV DMAs. Bigger brands think about TV DMAs quite a bit. And so this is the way we structured it. We mostly wanted to focus on high category, low brand, and then high and high, figuring, hey, these are the areas where we have the most opportunity for growth. It's also really important to zero in not just on the right geographies, but the right audiences within those geographies. And so male outdoor enthusiast, big audience for us, but also just the outdoor family. And a lot of moms buy for outdoor families. And so we really crafted strategies for both. So while sales lift in Walmart was our primary metric, we also want to look at sales lift on Amazon and in Target and D2C. We want to look at search lift. Could these ads drive an increase in people searching for RTIC online? And then also, are there some other micro conversions that this could drive? And so the cool thing about running YouTube campaigns is you can see things like store visits inside retail stores. You can see people that call for directions or click for directions. And so it's really important with YouTube to look at all of these ways that it could be impacting our campaigns. Now, it's really important to measure YouTube in all these ways, because if you just rely on click data, right, or if you treat YouTube like Meta or like other channels, you're going to be disappointed, because here are the realities. Not that many people click on YouTube ads, right? In fact, YouTube ads have half the click-through rate of Meta ads. Also, now 50% of all views on YouTube are on connected TVs or smart TVs. There are no clicks on TVs. Yes, there are QR codes and you can send a phone and some things like that. But for the most part, if someone sees your YouTube ad on TV, they're not clicking it directly, right? And also, we all have multiple Gmail accounts. We have multiple people logged in. And sometimes if you're watching YouTube on a connected TV, there's multiple viewers. So you have to measure YouTube differently or you're going to miss the total impact. That's what we did with RTIC. So again, the ultimate goal was Walmart sales, but we also looked at search lift, in-store visit, brand lift, and other micro conversions. So let's talk about results. Okay, well, in test cell 1, we had 3 test regions across the country. In test cell 1, we saw a measurable 12% lift, some noticeable call-outs: Sacramento plus 48, Minneapolis, St. Paul plus 52, and Denver plus 39. In test cell number 2, average of 14% sales lift. And then we saw 22% lift in Kentucky, 25% lift in Chicago, and 25% in Salt Lake City. And then test cell 3, 25% sales lift, just absolutely smashing it. Little Rock plus 44%, Oklahoma City plus 40%. And Springfield, my hometown, I just threw this in there because it's fun, because it's where I live, 17%. I think I probably bought all the coolers in my town, so maybe that was up to me. But we still had tremendous results for RTIC. And so here's what's interesting. At the same time, they ran a connected TV lift study as well, and they detected 0 lift. So all of this was in comparison to that 0 lift study, and YouTube just absolutely smashed it. In addition, though, to retail sales, we also saw market search lift. So you got to keep in mind that if you run an effective ad and someone sees it on YouTube, they're probably not going to click. But one of the next things they'll do is they'll search for you online. And boy, did they. So on mobile devices, we saw 230% search lift for RTIC keywords. And then across all of Google and YouTube, we saw 140% search lift. And Google shared with us, hey, when they run search lift studies, the most common result they see is no measurable lift. So this was significant. And then, of course, got to do a little humble brag here, brought home some hardware, got the Google Agency Excellence Award. But ultimately, we got the sales lift, and now YouTube is a critical part of RTIC's growth strategy. But as I mentioned up top, even if you're not in retail stores, this approach can work for you, because we also saw D2C sales lift and we saw Amazon sales lift. And so what we found is the structure of your test does impact where people buy. The call to action you put in your ads also impacts where people buy. All these ads did say go buy in Walmart, but ultimately people buy where they want to buy. And so if you run a campaign like this, you're going to see people buy D2C and Amazon as well if you're there, but also wherever you send them as far as retail sales go. And so, hey, this is just me calling out. And I've been doing this for years. We've been doing this as an agency for years for lots and lots of brands, for supplement brands, for personal care brands, for automotive brands, for brands like RTIC. YouTube, it's an untapped opportunity. You can use it for omni-channel growth. It's time to stop sleeping on YouTube. So thank you for tuning in. We'd love to chat with you. Maybe you'd like to explore these options for your brand. Maybe you'd like to see how we could craft the strategy to grow omni-channel for you. Reach out to us at omgcommerce.com.